The topic of presentation is an interpretation of the choreography of William Forsythe through complex system theory. The purpose of this presentation is to get you thinking about Forsythe's choreography in new ways, and the presentation is structured as follows. So, let me start off by showing the question of this study. Up to now, Forsythe's choreography has been described as chaotic, disorder, and deconstructionist. However, we continue to monitor closely this interpretation. We naturally have wonders such as what if we could interpret Forsythe's choreography in another way? To solve this question, we attempt to analyze his choreography on the basis of complex system theory. Because we think that the evaluation of Forsythe's choreography are caused by the complexity materialized in his works. Having explained the research motive of our study, I will continue by describing about Forsythe. William Forsythe is considered as one of the most innovative choreographers. He focused on improvisation and attached importance to unstable and complex movements using mathematical prescription. In particular, improvisation is the main approach he uses to create different types of movements. His methodology is grounded in using geometric shapes such as points, lines, and three-dimensional forms to help dancers develop their own improvisational practice. Based on these characteristics, he has called representative of deconstructionist. To obtain more complete insight and connection between Forsythe and deconstruction, we take a brief look at it. Deconstruction denies the possibility of essential or intrinsic and stable meaning and the unmediated access to reality. In the late 1960s, it was a trend that exercised greatest influence and inspiration on the overall field of artistic creation. Forsythe also influenced his deformation of movements. In his works, movement itself is a given meaning, and the standard of ultimate beauty of a body is deconstructed. Also, the relation between elements of space and body, which formerly organized to be connected, harmonic, symmetrical, and balancing is deconstructed. Ultimately, such characteristics aim to overcome the limitation of medium as a bodily language and create challenge formerly non-existent genre. So far, we have covered in the general awareness about Forsythe's deconstruction. Next, I would like to look at complex system theory. Complex system is a network of interacting components. It based on emergence, feedback, and co-evolution. First of all, emergence is a process whereby larger entities, patterns, and regularities arise through interactions among smaller or simple. Second, feedback is the ways in which the components in a system connect and relate to one another. Third, coevolution means all systems exist within their own environment and they are also part of that environment. Based upon complex system theory, we would like to suggest a new possibility that Forsythe's choreography can be interpreted as visible order, rule-based, and structural. For this purpose, we used 2,353 images captured in one flat things reproduced, which is considered one of his major works, with 1 second intervals, and divided them into beginning and latter parts. Then, we describe as plus-minus reflecting directions when dancers moved from place to place. Finally, we conducted 3 analyses on the basis of the concepts among complex system theory. As you can see, we specifically conducted 3 analyses as follows. First, whether regularity and rule can appear in the whole structure. Second, how many the frequency of interactions with dancers. Third, relationship individual movement and total choreographic structure. As a result, we found regular moving patterns throughout the whole structure like on up and down, diagonal, left and right, up and down motion in both parts, and discover almost identical tendency in the energy of moving. These facts present the regularity of the entire structure in Forsythe's work and suggest that previous studies might concentrate from the each choreographic factors, but based on the whole composition. Second, we counted frequency of feedback, which made discrimination between directly and indirectly interactions with dancers. We recognize direct feedback as touching, pushing and pulling, and crushing. In contrast, indirect feedback is connecting, symmetry, and reacting to auditory signals. As a result, the frequency of indirect feedback are twice as many direct feedback. These results account for the reason why people have been recognized Forsythe's choreography as deconstructionism. Because indirect feedback is difficult to discover in most cases, Forsythe's works may seem a kind of improvisational creation. In addition, increasing the total number of indirect feedback is implied that Forsythe's choreography changed from an explicit rule to an implicit regularity. Finally, we studied the relationships between whole compositions and individual movements. As a result, we confirmed each movement influence pattern on the whole composition. In accordance with whole composition, each movement repeatedly showed up and down, diagonal, left and right, up and down patterns. To sum it up, we found regular moving patterns throughout the whole structure and revealed that Forsythe's choreography changed from explicit rules to implicit regularity. In addition, we confirmed each movement's influence pattern on the whole composition. In conclusion, this study formulated and confirmed compositional regularities in Forsythe's works as opposed to existing deconstructive view through complex system theory. Thus, we suggest that Forsythe's choreography moves towards spontaneous order rather than deconstruction. Furthermore, we posit the real meaning of the deconstructions that he has pursued is for recomposition, reconstructions, and reinvention. Although further research is needed, redefining Forsythe's choreography from a different standpoint will inspire follow-up studies on Forsythe's performance by making it possible to interpret Forsythe with complex system theory. And we expect that this study will be able to contribute to a new quantitative analysis, resulting in a new interpretations on not only Forsythe's works, but also modern dance in general. Thank you very much for your attention.